It is a very good evening and welcome to Penshurst Park. It's match day 23 in the NPL Men's New South Wales as St George City take on Sydney FC in what is a vital game for both sides in the competition. For St George City, it's all about winning games and make sure they make their way into the final six of the competition, while for Sydney FC, it's about starving off relegation, of course, and even the promotion relegation game too, to note. So it's very important for them to get a win today in what is a cracking game coming up on Football New South Wales on YouTube. G'day, Nicholas Kutniak with you, and as I said, it is going to be an absolute beauty. St George City last week, what about that win against Blacktown City? It was amazing to watch. 2-1 at Land Stadium as they come back into the winner's circle after a loss the week before back here at Penshurst Park, 4-3 against Spirit. While, what about this from Sydney FC? They got smashed by Marconi 4-0 last week at Rockdale Illiton, but before that, a big win against the Wanderers 3-0. So this is a vital game, as I mentioned. Let's go through the lineup, starting off with St George City. Jack Kinney, the goalkeeper, number 1. Cameron Fong in 2. Digadoy in 3. In 5 is Famoto Kamada. In 6 is Tarek Elshan. In 8 is Dominic Cox. Jason Romero, 11. Costa Petranos, 11. Romero's in 10, by the way. Jesse Foti, 19. Brody Clarkson, 25. And Lewis Curry in 33. Starting lineup for St George City. For Sydney FC, Daniel Skolsky, or Skolska, I should say, is the goalkeeper. In 3 is Tyler Williams. In 4 is Joseph Kalusic. In 7 it's Jacob Bazette. In 8 is Lachlan Middleton. In 10 it's Quintal. In 17 it's Mao. In 22 it's Will Kennedy. 24 Camille Show. 33 is McAllister. And 34 is Bolwell. We're not too far away from kickoff. Our referee in charge is Jer Coutinho, and assistance of Mitch Renton and Joshua Kermond. And we're nearly right for kickoff here at Penshurst Park. As I said, a brilliant game on our hands as St George City keep on fighting their way into the finals. And the news about the Wanderers in the last couple of weeks helps their chances to push for a spot in the 6. We're just about right for kickoff. Just waiting on a few checks. Game in progress at the moment between Spirit and Rockdale. It's 1-1 after 87. St George FC 1, Wanderers 1. Last night, big win too by Hills, 2-0 against Manly. We are just about right for this one. Stand by. Underway at Penshurst Park. And it's Kamado who has possession. Beats Mao, works it back inside. Ball by Curie did touch off, and it goes back to Digadoy, who touches it back inside. Tarek Elshan, the captain. Digadoy on this left wing, going to be doing a lot of work today. Up the line. Curry can't get to it. Mao trying to work it down the line. Digadoy again, a couple of touches. Ball goes out off the foot of Camille Jo. Curry. Elshan again has it. Blocked the line by Fong. Petranos didn't get the initial touch he was looking for. Played on from Kalusic. On the right, it's Bolwell. Turned over. Curry. Clarkson. Petranos worked it straight to a sky blue. St George with Elshan able to work it back. Digadoy wants to work it up the line. He does so, but it does get stopped off. Again by Camille Jo. Touched on by Middleton. Flickering pass to the left. First time shot wasn't flashed by Bazette. Ball comes back to Kalusic. Touched on by Middleton. St George through Earlshan working at the Koori. Trying to hold possession here. Good pressure by Camiljo. As Quintal has it. Quintal cuts inside of Clarkson. No foul called on the challenge on Bazette. Long works it back. Earlshan. Digodoy back to Earlshan. And now it's Dominic Cox. Digodoy back to Earlshan. Earlshan over halfway. Bounces down. Played away in the key moment by the Sky Blues. Sydney FC trying to clear. They've got to be careful. Eventually, Bolwell lobbed it up. Cox is trying to work it back. He does so. Fong, Earlshan, and now it's on to Digodoy, back to Earlshan. Earlshan back to Fong on the right wing. Look to turn it back. Earlshan has it. It's a very intriguing start here at Penshurst. No score on the board between St George City and Sydney FC. As Fong turns it back to Clarkson. Former Shark works it deep down the left wing. Moto Kamada. He crosses it in. Sydney FC can't get a clearance. Cox trying to work it down. Petranos taken down the box. No penalty called. Ball spills on to Quintal. Quintal works it up the line. Mao has it on the right wing. Good work again. Getting onto it is Kamada, who's able to chip it forward. Koori needs to turn around. Good pressure by Quintal. Koori works it back. Digodoy works it up to Cox. Was played down by Sydney FC. Kalusic, who was forward in that situation. As St George have possession again. Earlshan for Digodoy. Koori. Entertaining start, as I said. Really intriguing. Both teams, it's like it's the opening stages of a cup final. Both know how much is up for grabs today as the ball is worked on. Clarkson, Koori. He's got Cox, but he decides to go to Petranos. Cox, nice touch. Romero can't get that last effort. Goes back to Clarkson, who lobbed it down. It was headed on by Fong. They're going to go again here, St George. Cross comes in. There was nobody in the middle. Kamada trying to get to it. Mao has it, works it back. Sydney FC get away from the situation that could have been. St George probably should be leading 1-0 in the early stages. Earlshan from the back. Fong. Earlshan again. Fong. He'll reverberate it back to Kenny. Jack Kenny going on to Digodoy. He'll cross-face it. Jesse Foti trying to inject himself. Sydney FC. Ball coming back. Kalusic. Jeez, that could have been airy-carry again. Got to be mindful. St George will have the throw city. Ball comes back to Earlshan, who's calling for runners. Clarkson turning around. He goes back to the right. Fong, Clarkson. Foti has it. He's got support. Again, Foti going back. St George this season coming into this game in 7th spot. 11 wins this year. To note, they've had 7 wins here at Penshurst Park this season. As now Cox, he steams it on. It's a chance. He's taken down Petranos. Maud tries to win it for Sydney FC. Kamada's able to win it, and he works it back to Tarek Elshan. Just mentioning before, this year's 7 wins at Penshurst Park for 2 draws and 4 losses. They did play against Sydney FC earlier this season here at Penshurst Park, where the game was moved. Initially scheduled at Rockdale as a ball inside by Kamada. Romero can't take the shot. It's still alive here for Curry to turn around. Goes back to Clarkson. D. Godoy will go back to Elshan. We'll stick with the play for the moment because this is intriguing. Cox. Good touch on by Romero, but that last ball just not quite working. And the score remains here 0-0. What a cracking start. The pace has been brilliant. As I said, the opening stages of this game similar to an FA Cup final in terms of the intensity because of what is on the line. Of Sydney FC looking to roll forward here. There's the cross inside. Nice touch. Opening goal to Sydney FC. Well, that's what you expect by McAllister. He gets the touch. 1-0. Well, it came from, I don't know if it's right to say broken play, but Clarkson tried to feed it back. The header wasn't great by Clarkson. And just watching this ball on to McAllister, like, he gets himself in a great spot. And he scores yet another goal this season. That's 6 for him, Matthias McAllister. And Sydney FC have got the advantage. And I go back to my favourite trope, and that is, how many times do you see the team with the possession always concede the opening goal of the game? I keep on talking about that, but it's an unwritten stat. Like, we see it so many times. Even Joey Russo is nodding his head in the greens going, well, we do. And we see it quite a bit at NPL level. Sydney FC, they're already on the charge, but McAllister wants to work it back inside. This, as I said, this game has got the making. Sydney FC are just trying to make sure they keep winning games to get away from the relegation in that pro-reg game. There's that Mao ball, and then Quintal, too much on it. Won't get to it. Blake Bolwell. The ball goes out for a goal kick. It's a chilly evening. I'm going to say a cold one for the spectators that have turned up. I'm just looking at a baby wearing one of those furry coat things is how we see Kamada work it in. Oh, that's a good save. Tolsky got himself in a good spot. It's Cox. Goes wide of the mark, and the score remains 1-0 to Sydney FC. I hope you're enjoying this one. As I said, it's been a thrill so far. This is a cracking start. The pace is electric. By the way, full-time score, Rockdale did win from behind 2-1, but Spirit had 2 men sent off. So to note, but they were down 1-0 at one stage, Rockdale, and they have won 2-1 in that game today. So that's a massive win for Illidan as they continue their charge. And the Bomber has scored, and it's a funny stat coming through in regards to regular season venues. And I'll get back to that in a moment as Mao, he rolls forward, he works it back, and this is a real, oh, he's offside. Yep, the flag is up. Brezet was offside in that moment, and the flag came up straight away. I was just going to say about Yurashevsky, big stat about him, the Bomber. Prior to tonight, there was 2 venues that he never scored at that are regular season venues in the NPL. And one of them was Christie Park, but now that hoodoo has been broken. The other one, and he has played at this ground, and it is considered a regular venue. And I'm talking about how Wollongong split games between Wynn Stadium and Albert Butler. Well, the Bomber hasn't scored at Albert Butler before. He has played there, So it's not like he hasn't played there or anything. He has played there. Rockdale has played there. That was during the COVID years. As Mao goes forward down the right, he's going to try to cut that back inside. He goes outside as the ball is touched out by Kamada. But it's an interesting fact, talking about that, the Bombers nearly scored everywhere. As now crosses it in. Hit away by Elshan, and it's lobbed up, and it's wide, and it goes to the cricket facility. And to tell you the truth, I could easily say that I've been doing the research throughout the week, and that's why I know this, blah, blah, blah. But Alex Molchanov asked me that question yesterday. He goes, what two venues do you think that the Bomber hasn't scored a goal in? And I said, well, one of them has to be obvious. It's Christie Park. And I wasn't sure about the other one, but he said it was a ground that's used by a team. They've got two different venues. And I said, oh, well, it must be Wollongong then. So there you go. Interesting as ball comes back. Curry. Digadoy utilised Elshan. I will always pay credit to the guys who feed us stats, and one of them, Alex Molchanov, who is an absolute workhorse. He's such a brilliant caller as well. As Cox works it on, and Romero can't do much with it. Played back from Tyler Williams. Comes down for Mao to try to control it, can't. Curry's pass is not great. Quintal's on the attack. He works it on. He's onside here, McAllister. McAllister goes back to Quintal. Will he cross it back in is the question. He does so. It was open up there. Mao, then the shot over the top. Probably not the flashiest shot in the world. And Williams misses that one. I speak of Will Kennedy, I should say, not Williams. Will Kennedy. I have Williams on the brain. And the score remains 0-1. St George City trailing this one. Now again, Clarkson utilises Curry to the left. It's Kamada. It's touched off Mao, so it will be a throw on this near side. Benches for both sides. Ryan Reid, the sub-goalkeeper for St George City. Nathan Roberts, Paolo Mitri, Michi Jomar, and Kai Kamakura, I should say. While for Sydney FC, sub-goalkeeper will be Alexander Zavadinos, Dylan Rose, Bailey Callaghan, Marin France, Pearson Kasawaya, and Namoy Conde. "15 minutes elapsed here at Penshurst Park. It's Saturday night football. And we are seeing Sydney FC leading 1-0. The goal scorer was Matthias McAllister. Quintal leads the goal scoring count for Sydney FC this season, 7 goals. What has been, I don't know if lacklustre is the right word to explain their goal scoring prowess. Only 27 this year. All was worked in. Romero, can he spin it back? He goes back to Kamada, chips it back in the middle. Couldn't do it, Petranos, and Sydney FC get the foul going their way. Well, St George City only 30 goals this year. And leading their charge is both Costa Petranos and Presley Ortiz. Not playing today, Presley. Of course, St George missing a couple of players that we're used to seeing. Aki Petranos left the club during the recent weeks, which is a shame. St George City, though, opportunity for them. Talk about how they've risen to prominence over the years. Their story is one of the most intriguing stories, where they were, 8 years ago to what they are now. This is a team playing the bottom flight years ago, and they have continued to build and build and build. They can make a top 6. Be great to see, especially football in the southern part of Sydney. As the ball is worked on from Elshan. Kamada flicks it on the right foot. Nobody at the far post. Had to be cleared away. Miljo didn't do the greatest of efforts. It played off a foot of St George. It does come back to Elshan. Important comment to make too about what we're seeing from St George and their prominence, St George City, is the fact in the top league is now Romero going forward. Can he get a cross in? That was a great touch by Foti, but admittedly he didn't get himself from a great spot, or wasn't in a great spot. The defence by Sydney FC, solid. But the point I was going to make about how football in the southern part of Sydney is going well in terms of, we've got St George City, St George FC, Rockdale Illidan, and also Sutherland. So it's great to see all of them in the top flight of NPL. It's the same as Western Sydney, the teams that are in there, obviously Blacktown City and Hills, the first two you talk about. And obviously, by the looks of it, next season as the ball will come back, it's headed down by Fong. Clarkson working it on to Cox. It does look like that Mount Druitt, if they continue their form, they're going to be up next year, which would be great to see them back in the top flight. Obviously, Spirit, a Northwestern team as well, as seen the run. He's taken down the challenge, Moto Kamada, and that will be called the foul. It was Tyler Williams with the challenge. So Football New South Wales on YouTube, NPL Men's New South Wales action coming your way from Penshurst Park. Either way, score coming through from St George FC and Wanderers up the road. It's 1-1 after 31 minutes. Nicholas Kutniak with you to steer through what's going to be one of the most important games of the season for both sides. Romero, low ball, he couldn't get the right touch on it he was looking for. Elshan, and the score remains 1-0 to the Sky Blues, Sydney FC. 2-1 earlier, Rockdale defeating Spirit last night. It was Manly losing to Hills 2-0. What a win for Hills too, I might add, heading into this weekend. And they're probably watching this at the moment at the local thinking, well, we need St George to win. I'm talking about St George City, because the way it sits, Hills are on 21 points, and with Sydney FC leading, they're on 21. Of course, 18 if we don't include the live ladder scenario thing. So they're going to be back on level pegging. Goal difference at the moment is in the way of Hills, but that could change tonight. Ball was worked on to the left. Kamada. Oh, taken down by Mao. Mao was trying to work it up behind. He actually cut back inside. That was good work by him. Deep ball. Miljo really knows how to work balls like that. He's now taken down the challenge. Here's Camiljo. This right side, Tyler Williams. Mao would be onside, but was headed down by De Godoy. Kamada, skill. Cox back. Elshan right. Fighting Fong. New South Wales Institute and Sydney FC youth player. Obviously spent time at Sydney FC in senior, first grade football, whatever you want to call it. And of course, now it's St George playing well too, I might add. Clarkson back. Fong now working it on. Elshan the captain. Fong's ball, he's going to get it well. He can't win it. Now trying to size himself up here as he's taken down the challenge McAllister. No foul called as Kilreek comes back. Short ball by D. Godoy. Clarkson again circulating it to Kamada. Kamada beats Mao for it. Mao goes again. Nice ball on from Camiljo. Mao works it on. And again Quintal. Quintal works it up the line. Here's Mao again. Can he work it on to McAllister? He does! What could have been a great goal, not to be. I don't know where it deviated exactly, but play continues, and now it's St George on the counter. Curry, taken by Quintal. They're going to go again here. Quintal, chipping it up the line. Mao's trying to run it back inside. D. Godoy played it down. It goes back to Sydney FC. McAllister has a shot. It reflects off. So much going on here. Cox will play it down the right side. We're just seeing a replay. It actually hit the top of the post and bounced back. Knew there was a deviation, obviously, but I just wanted to see whereabouts it was. It was amazing. It all happened in one motion. As now, here is Romero sizing up a shot. He's going to try to take it. Was taken down the challenge. He probably waffled a little bit in that regard. He should have went earlier than what he did. It's a good challenge. Well, I think Middleton it was. As again, here comes St George. Cox. Middleton trying to make the tackle on Romero. Last effort was good by Will Kennedy. There'll be a corner on that far side of the stadium. Penshurst Park, it always brings drama. That's why I love coming here, drama. So mind you, I think I might be kicked out of the venue if St George lose tonight. I've got a bad stat. Ball comes in, it's an outswinger. Comes back. Foti can't get to it. It's cleared away. Was that on that situation? So I've done so far 2 games here this season. And there was it 3 games now? 2. I'm trying to remember. But regardless, the last 2 I've done here, they've lost both. If they lose tonight, I will be kicked out of here. It's a bad stat to have. Look, I don't know if it's true about commentators having a curse on certain teams when they arrive to a venue, but there's the eerie similarity, I suppose. There's a chance again. Trados worked it on Curry. Comes back to Kamada. Works it in. Oh! That was nearly in. He's got it. He's got it. Oh, yes. And St George retaliate. There was a touch there. Foti was the goal scorer, but it was all set up by the Reds. It was Petratos who was trying to take a shot. Curry took a shot. This is when Kamada trying to work it across. And Jesse Foti gets himself in position to get the touch. It hit the side of the woodwork and then bounced in the key moment. There we go. It's 1-1. Parity restored. Jesse Foti scores yet another goal here at his home ground, and that is goal number 3 for the season. Scored a brace a few weeks ago. Getting himself in fine form. Now, driving forward. Mata working it back to Fong. Headed down. Here's Cox, Romero, Cox. Taken down Cox. Miljo's ball to Mao. He's taken down, foul called, goes his way. So goal scorer is a McAllister for Sydney FC. Jesse Foti for St George. Go! Godoy trying to clear it. For those just tuning in, wondering what is the state of play here. Basically, it's 2 sides fighting for different things and important things to notice. That pressure by Petratos. Worked the ball on, as now here's The Sky Blues again. McAllister was in position. The ball doesn't work. Be expecting balls from Bazette on that left side throughout the evening. Just going to say, the state of play is this. St George City need to win games to make the top 6. They're just outside of 7th place. Wollongong was ahead of them. And I think goal difference from memory. While Sydney FC have just got to win games to stay away from the promotion relegation zone. Even the relegation zone, because that's as I said, it's a tight battle. It's a great competition here. Back in the season, you don't know where to look. Do you look at top? Do you look at middle? Do you look at bottom? It's going to be that good. That final day of the season, I'll tell you what. As a foul goes the way of Sydney FC for that challenge. It was Kennedy that was fouled upon. No, in fact, it was Camille Jo. Camille Jo was the player fouled upon there. Sydney FC. So Quintal will be looking to work this in the middle. McAllister's bouncing around. Goes to the far post. It's going to reverberate back to McAllister. The ball does go out. So that final day of the season, I'll tell you now, that's going to be one of the best final days for a long time. The battles for every which way. Look, I know a lot of people would say top spot's gone. Rockdale, look, it's a 12-point advantage, but remember, Marconi do play tomorrow. But you think that the premiership has been won by Rockdale. You think anyway, as Sean tries to stop a ball and he does so. But with that, it opens up second, because Marconi's not gifted second spot. Apia's right up their tail, and Apia's got, of course, 2 games to play too, because that Mariners game that's been postponed again, we'll use the words again, it was going to be played midweek, wasn't played, and they've got that game as well against Sydney Olympics. So there's a few games coming up for Apia, which is vital to note on that side of things, as that touches Sydney FC last. Petratos will have a throw on that far side. As again, it'll be Clarkson, Corey. Now Kamada on the left. Kamada wants to cross it back inside. It is stopped off by Sydney FC. At the end, Bolwell has played it out. But yeah, that battle for second, third, and even fourth, like, they've all got a chance. Even, well, Blacktown's outside chance to battle for a second or a third place spot, and they can probably get the fourth potentially. That game tomorrow against Sydney United 58, that is a cracking game of the making. And then it's St George, who are currently in 6th place on the live ladder. Remember, Wollongong plays Sydney Olympic tomorrow. That's a big game too. Of course, that's a charity game as well. I'll give you more details about that later on. And well, they're also an outside chance too, Olympic. But they need to win every game to try to make the 6th. They pretty much clinched their spot back in the competition next year. Obviously, we're not considering NSW yet. We're waiting for that to be officially confirmed, but at least Olympic know that they will at least have a place in NPL men's next season. Manly's loss yesterday has put them in, well, a bit of hairy-carry. Completely gone, but you want to shore up your place pretty quickly. Let's see what they can offer up here. Sydney FC. St George able to stop it. Out left side of Brissett. Brissett's trying to win it. Foti played that. Well, didn't take. Well, it's going to be a St George ball here. You'll find. Yep. Called it St George. So they've actually called now Sydney FC throw. Changed a few times there. I thought I was initially going to say St George as it drops down. Now will be looking to turn it around, works it back. Shot wasn't great by Bolwell, comes back. Tyler Williams who works it on. Bolwell has it on the right side. Mao will be looking to get it back inside. He's going outside his man Kamara. Crosses it in. It bounces past everybody. By the way, you know how I get distracted? I was looking over when that ball came through and I saw these hands waving around. There is an exercise lesson going on the backfield. Tai Chi? Yeah, Tai Chi. Amazing. I was going to say yoga, but that wasn't yoga, so Tai Chi. I have to get that confirmed from Joey Russo. His class is tomorrow at 6:30 as the ball goes out. On this grandstand side, there you go. Oh, you can tell I'm a radio man every day of the week. Throw comes in from Bolwell. And Sydney FC lifting. Oh, McAllister's ball wasn't, well, he didn't trap it well. I suppose the best way of describing that is now De Godoy comes back and the ball on from Elshan. Elshan. And again, De Godoy, he finds here space for Romero, who goes back to Clarkson. Cox was taken down. Romero trying to lob it back to Cox. Cox works it back. Petranos trying to find Romero, but then it was more of a shot. Kelsky saves it. And the score remains 1-1. At Penshurst Park, we've had 34.5 gone here. Ball comes back for Bolwell to work it up the line. Goes over the top of McAllister. McAllister will try to go back for it. Interesting to note, watching McAllister now, I think you'll find, I'm going to say that it's a cast, but it could be like a mould thing on his left hand. Just noticed that before. You'll notice the way he clinches when he runs as well. I think it is a cast. It's definitely not a glove. You can tell it's not a glove. As McAllister was calling for it, but won by De Godoy. Geez, that pressure was good again. Bolwell going forward. Curry, good tackle. Now goes the way of St George City. It's amazing to note this game is, 36 minutes old. I mean, this game has been lightning quick. Maybe enjoying it. A reminder as well, the other game that is in progress. St George FC are doing battle. They're 1-1 against the Wanderers. Wanderers needing a win. It's a must-win for them. As has been announced over recent weeks, they have lost, I think, was it 6 points from memory? And so they will be chasing from behind for a situation that has been announced as that was a tame header by Petranos. It was announced by Football New South Wales last week, and the Wanderers have taken the penalties that were given for the situation. Obviously, for more information on that, Football New South Wales website, nplnsw.com.au. Or of course, you can jump onto the Facebook page and scroll for the article. It's now on the right side. It's played up the line. Kamada was able to win it. Cox can't control. Miljo works it on. Quintal goes down the left. And Bazette is stepping over. Okay, first time it goes back. Miljo worked it on. Middleton finds Mao. Mao cutting around. Does come back. Yeah, 6 points, that's right. I was just looking at the article. Joe Russo just showed me, just to confirm that, which is good. As I see, you can find those penalties on the website as well. So plenty of penalties that we'll go through later on as the ball has worked on the Cox. Cox now goes back to the right side. So Jesse Fody, who has scored a goal, former Sharks boy as well. Keep mentioning some of the ex-Sharks players that have come over to St George over recent time. Kamada's another one who was also spending some time at the Rangers a few years before that. Ball comes right. Bowl well again. Down by Elshan, it comes back. That ball on. Well, it wasn't really a cross on anyway. That was the concern from Bazette, it was on that left side. Good to be with you on this Saturday evening at Penshurst Park. Team of experts in 2024. Geez, we've got a great team. Last night, Eric Subiano was calling the socks off at Cromer Park. Then Molchanov also calling everything off that game between Spirit and Rockdale before. Geez, that was amazing what's happened there as the ball drops down. Mao can't get a head away. It wasn't fouled upon. Some were calling for it as Bolwell heads it down. That flick on wasn't great by Quintal. Comes down, and there's Romero, and then Romero's going to have it again. Petrados now has it, goes back to the left. Kamada once again, working it on. And here's a chance for Romero. It's a deep ball. Jesse Fody will have to work it back in. He decides to go to Cox, and Cox will get it back to Fong, and Fong will utilise Foti deep in the right wing. Foti again, stepping over. He crosses it in. Again, it misses any target, really, and the score remains 1-1. And we've got 5.5 remaining regulation time. First half action at Penshurst Park. Also should note as well, I always talk about canteens in the NPL, and I really do like the one here at Penshurst Park. They have great service when the gas bottle is not broken. Last couple of times I've had issues waiting for it because of the gas bottle, but today all good. Had the souvlaki, it was great. Also the hot chips here always go down well. They're up there as one of the great canteens. The fine ladies in the canteen do a great job, and they did tell me, can you please make a mention of us, and we will. So there you go. They asked and I obliged, like I normally do. I still didn't get anything for free, by the way, but I'm just saying I obliged. Goodness of my heart. Degadoi has it, works it back to the left, and there is Kamada. And I will make a statement in a second, as Clarkson does work it back. Here's Fong. A low ball. Oh, here's a chance for Cox. Back to Romero! No! Went to the left the wrong moment. Score remains 1-1. But I will have to say this. Every club does great work with the canteens. And that's why I honestly, I don't look for freebies. I don't want freebies, right? Because all the clubs, we should support them. And as I said, they do a great job. They spend a lot of time at the ground during the day. It's not just the men's and 20s games. It's also the long days with SAP and all that going on. And they're here sometimes 7:30, 8 o'clock first game. It's a busy day. You know, without the volunteers, we wouldn't have football at all. So St George laid the ball here. And that's something that I think has to be noted about how well clubs go, the volunteers they've got, but a lot of clubs do need more volunteers, and you should help out your local club if you can. As the ball drops down, as the boisterous Sydney FC fans are here. The Cove having some fun. The car park side of the grounds. Covering all bases on a Saturday night. Talking about the canteen, talking about the Cove, as you can hear in the background. The Tai Chi going on as well. As I said, we're here to entertain. As Kamada was, well, he was thinking, Digadoy, I wasn't quite there. Of course, Digadoy, new signing to the club, so you would expect, and I don't mean it lightly how I say it, you do expect him not to quite have the same read yet. You see, if other players who played together for a long period of time, then that's not trying to be disrespectful. It's a case when you've got a new player join a team, you don't have the rhythm yet, especially on that left-hand side. Connection's one of the most important things for a defender, or the defenders, I should say. Kamara does, of course, play that left wing back sort of role. They play a four-man back line defensively, but then obviously Kamara does come up. As the ball goes back to Urshan. Urshan looking to work it back. Fong, low ball. Nice touch by Petralis, but maybe a little bit too much, though also Foti was back a shade. It's inside the last minute of regulation time. First half action coming your way from Penshurst Park. Nicholas Kutniak with you for all the action. And this 2024 season has been epic. Keeps on keeping up here. It keeps on keeping on, I should say, here. As now Kamada works up the line, probably a bit too deep. Goes out for a throw on this broadcast side. Foul called, challenge on Cox. We look at the board. Hasn't been shown yet, but we are in injury time officially. Kennedy can't keep it in the field of play. We don't have a board in action. That's the reason why we haven't seen the board come up. I'd say 2 minutes of additional time has been added, but that's on my clock. Nobody else's, so we're not 100%. We are, as I said, in injury time in this first half. Cox works it back, Kamada crosses it in. I can't get the head of Petratos. Spins around. It's just a minute and it's half-time. 1-1 between St George City and Sydney FC. Your goal scorers, Jesse Foti scored the leveller for St George City. The opening goal was scored by Sydney FC. And what was a good goal by Matthias McAllister. Half-time, and it is 1-1 between Sydney FC and St George City. We'll break here on Football New South Wales on YouTube. Come back on the other side for the second half in this important NPL men's fixture as the battle for Sydney FC to get out of the relegation and the pro-reg game zone, and for St George City a spot on the line in the top six. We'll come back on the other side here at Penshurst Park. We welcome you back to Penshurst Park. Second half action coming your way from what's going to be a cracking second half between Sydney FC and St George City. 1-1 and goal scorers for both sides. Sydney FC's opening goal was scored by Matthias McAllister. Jesse Foti scored the follow-up from St George City to make it 1-1. And it has been a cracking game of football. So many moments in this game that can change the tide. You can see it happening. And is the second half going to be as frantic as the first is going to be the big question. I keep on talking about what it is at stake for St George City. They're battling for a spot inside the top six. Sydney FC, they're battling to get away from not just relegation, but the promotion-relegation game. So that is key, of course, this season. 16 drops out straight away, 15 plays second place in League One. We are underway. Sydney FC defending right of screen. Massive second half here. You know what's at stake for both sides, and it's been a chat at half-time, how this game's going to end up. And the talk is there will be a couple more goals, but will it be a situation where it's going to be a 90th minute equaliser or something like that? You definitely know the drama's going to happen here at Penshurst Park. Late drama is something that we're used to. Curry is fouled upon by Mao. Foul will be called. So St George will be looking to get the opening goal of the second half after the first goal was scored by Sydney FC. Matthias was the goal scorer. Things drop here. As now St George City working into the mix-up. It drops back here. Can he take a shot here, De Godoy? Couldn't quite, was cleared away. Goes back to Fong. Trying to work it on. Foti trying to play it forward. Sydney FC win the foul though. Now they roll again on this centre field of Penshurst Park, where they do have a good record in the past. St George City. Can they win one back? There's Petrados, Costa trying to cross it back in. He can't. Touched off. Sydney FC will be a corner. So they've got a good record here this season. As I mentioned before, 7 wins, 2 draws and 4 losses at Penshurst Park. The last win here was back in round 17 against Sydney Olympic. That's a while ago too, I must note. There's now a corner to be fired in. Drops down. And at the end, goes out for a goal kick. I do wonder what the setup should be in those corners. Romero's ball probably wasn't the flashiest. Do mind you've got to have somebody right on that far post. If De Godoy was right on the spot, they probably do get a goal out of that. Anyway, Solski, a deep ball to halfway. Cox trying to win it. Goes Shanghai. Get it down by Kulisic. Comes back for Fong. Kulisic again, loses it. Captain Will Kennedy. Ball played back by Bozette. Kulisic once more. Williams back to Kulisic. Over halfway. Headed out. It's a decent effort, though. Fong, who's playing on this right side. We're watching quite a bit of him in the second half. Cam Fong. He's going to get onto the end of it. He's going to boot it forward. Does drop back again for Camiljo. Now shots by Bolwell that goes over the top. Score remains 1-1. So what's the plan here from Kenny? He decides to go to Fong on the right. Cam, will he work it up the line? It's going to be stopped. Oh, Williams at the back. Now Will Kennedy. Spinning it back. Tyler Williams on this right side. They've got it again. Bolwell back to Mao. St. George trying to press. Cox defence and Petranos both ending up with Nada. Is now getting back. Will Kennedy. Tyler Williams once more. Brazett. Mao. This is dangerous. He's taken down Brazett. Now the ball has worked across the face. So what is Sydney FC going to do? I actually find it fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen this before. One of the coaching staff of Sydney FC are running across. Now they're getting their substitutions sorted out. One's warming up. Just watching the person running across, one of the coaching staff members. At first I thought, oh, could it be Jimmy Van Weir running across? And that's what it would have been the surprising factor. It wasn't, so it was going off a little bit prematurely. As now Sydney FC. Not too much with it in that situation, Tyler Williams. Coming back, Will Kennedy, switching him on centre of the field now. Moving forward. Ball to be played back in St. George City. Godoy. Elshan. Brazett wins it. Brazett. He's got Mao. And Mao has to one-time cross at the end. Played out by St. George. And that is great defence again by City. He got himself in the right position. That's what you expect from Oto Kamada, who's got the compression shirt on. Cove going off in the background. Quintal to take the corner. He decides to fire it on. Williams works in the middle. It's headed by Elshan, play down by Elshan. Then the shot deviates back. I tell you what, Godoy was lucky that Kenny was ready for that, but Sydney FC could have made it 2-1. That should be 2-1, you'd think anyway. Not to be. Karosic plays it up. It's played down by Godoy. It comes back down. Sydney FC again will be looking to fire it up the middle. Can't control it, Brazett. Oh, that would have been a lovely goal. Not to be. It was Fong. So now on this left side they go again, but Sydney FC able to win the ball. St. George can't hold court here. Who's going to get this goal? That's the big question. Who wants to lead? Sydney FC have had more of the chances in the last 3 or 4 minutes as Kamada down the line. Camiljo. Him and Middleton combining as again it goes wide to the right, the Quintal. Quintal is in the area. St George trying to clear it. It bounces down. It's headed on. Don't know about that by Will Kennedy. St George now go on the rampage. City. Corey back. Kamada pressured by Mao. Mao, can he win it? Digadoy tried to clear it. It drops down. Second clearance by Kamada. It drops back in the circle. It comes back to Kalusic. Kalusic going to the right. The ball on by Bolwell. Sydney FC again. Looking to work it in the middle. And it will be saved by Jack Kenny. So, George City have possession. Clarkson working it down the line. Romero looking to work it wide to the left. Kamada get himself involved. It had to be cleared by Kodorsic. Does drop down. Mao plays it back. It's fascinating what's happening here as Quintal gave away a foul, not to be. Ball drops down. Mao has it, working up the line. It's won by Olshan. Mao's on the ground still as Cox. He goes down the line. Here's Romero. Flag up for offside. Flag was up. And the score remains 1-1. Hope you're enjoying the action on Football New South Wales on YouTube. And David Moyer is watching all the action. Him and his sons, George and Louis. And I hope you're enjoying the coverage from Penshurst Park. This is close to being the match of the round. I understand why other games get classed as match of the round, but if you look at this, there's a lot to talk about here. In Sydney FC, like their second half of the season, like talk about salvaging a season. That's what they're trying to do, salvage their spot in this competition next year. They first debuted in the top flight of NPL in 2017 after a great, as it was called back then, the NPL 2, now League 1. Did graduate into the top flight, and a lot of people thought they would bounce straight back down, but Jimmy Van Weeren for many, many years, and he still does it, knows how to get the best out of the youth and knows that this is probably the most difficult season he's had. And look what they're achieving at the moment. He's trying to work it on. Petranos and then Romero. And now Foti. Foti trying to work it back inside. Touches off Will Kennedy. Corner on this near side. St George are fighting for what would be their first final series in NPL men's, if they can get there. And remember as well, it would be the first final series fight they've ever been involved in the top flight. No finals last year as corner gets played. Cox trying to work it on, and the shot by Romero wasn't great. The second effort by Tadek Olshan. Oh, could have been a worldie, not to be. Ball drops back to Kennedy. Tell you what, if you have not got your heart rate just bouncing around, you haven't got a heart, because this game has got so much going on. St George looking for this goal. It comes right. Jesse Foti on. Petranos. It's a ball that Romero won't even bother chasing. Goes out for a throw on that outer side. Okay. Around the ground scores for those who are just joining us. 1-1. I should say, go again, Nick. It was 2-1 Rockdale defeating Spirit. It was 1-1 earlier before between St George and the Wanderers. Let's see if that has changed since. No, that is still the score there, 1-1. Just checking all these scores coming through. Also, as now, Sydney FC were trying to break away. McAllister scored the opening goal of the game. He's looking for the second, not to be. Just want to note, last night, Hills defeated Manly 2-0. And tomorrow we have got a whole heap of games. Sutherland, Arpia doing battle. 5:30 tomorrow. That game is at Lambert Park, so you'll be able to see that. It's the Sunday evening fixture. As Mao has it. Mao going forward. Can he work it back inside? St George will be looking to clear. There was a call for penalty, not to be, and the fans are not happy. Sydney FC will have the ball back anyway. Also to note, tomorrow it's Sydney United 58, Blacktown City, Sydney United Sports Centre at 3 p.m. Wollongong and Olympic. That game, obviously, a very important game for both sides as they fight for a spot in the top 6. Olympic are outside chance now for the happenings on. Also, it is a game for charity. I'll give you more information about that shortly. As the ball is in the middle, Sydney FC will try to pressure Cox, and at the end that header. You'll see the ball go out as he's not looking overly flashy. I think it's Quintal who copped it straight to the noggin. Yeah, Quintal copped it straight to the head. It's a big hit. Must note on that. So Quintal is going to... Well, they're going to make a change anyway. Is Quintal coming off? Seeing who is coming off, because they have got a couple of players ready to go. Those two players about to come on is Pearson Kasawaya and Conde. So they're about to come on. And is he coming off the field here, Quintal? No, he's going to do the old off and on. St George City are making a sub. So Nathan Roberts is on the field. He's more concerned about the change Sydney FC are about to make. And Kamada's the player off the field, by the way, for St George City. Nathan Roberts, what can he offer up today too? As the ball drops back, finding Solski. So I'll make note of this game between Wollongong and Olympic tomorrow. It's the Kids Wish charity game. That's what it's being called, as Corey working it on to the left. And now Petrados, Costa. Good ball, Clarkson, back to Costa. Costa working out his option, coming back. Digadoy. Elshan. Ball on from Fong. Now Clarkson will be looking for the ball here from the Foti pass. He's now comes back to Elshan. And then again, it's Fong, Foti trying to cut back inside. Goes back. Fong chips it up the line. Cox headed it down. He's trying to get himself in position, the big American Romero. Ball goes out for a throw on this near side. Now the substitutions for Sydney FC are happening. As I said, Kasawaya and Conde about to come on. And off the field will be in Mao. His shift is over, officially replaced by Pearson Kasawaya. Conde comes on for... And I'll tell you who he comes on for in a moment. Yeah, play coming off the far, going across to the far side now in Brezet. There's now Foti looking to cross it back in. It comes down. Couldn't get the shot away, Roberts. Clarkson goes back to the left. Opportunity. Petrados goes back to Roberts. Roberts, what can he offer up here? Roberts can't get a ball away. Comes back. Petrados couldn't do much. The ball is played out by Sydney FC. Ball dropping down for Romero. Back. Roberts. Cox trying to somehow get it. Can't. Roberts. Played away by Sydney FC again. The ball will go out for a throw on this far side. So Wollongong and Olympic, it's the Kids Wish charity match. It's a big day out at Wynn Stadium. They've got pre-game entertainment. They'll feature players from the Disability Trust White Knights team, as well as participants from the Kids Wish Sports Academy. And I'll give you more information on that. Alongside this incredible event, there will be prizes available in the fundraising raffle, signed posters featuring our players or Wollongong players. I'm reading this off their Facebook page. And the legendary Wolf Chase will happen once again. And with great excitement, one lucky person will have the chance to win a PlayStation 5 in partnership with the Kids Wish event. And they are giving away giving 4 individuals the opportunity to partake in the penalty shootout to win this big prize. So, good stuff. And I do want to note that because it's an important game, of course. Not just the game itself, but the cause they're doing it for. The Kids Wish charity. So, just wanted to make note of that. I know I probably overemphasised it, but it's a big day out for Wollongong and what they're trying to do. We'll see quite a bit of these in the future as Cox working it on. Curry. All comes back. It's on the right side. Foti. He cuts inside. He takes a shot. Does deflect off. And it comes back to keeper Kenny. I should say keeper Solski. Kenny just sitting over there on the left going, I'm not doing anything at the moment. And as the ball drops down. Might have to do some work here. Didn't do much with it. Conde. Sky Blues again on the attack. They'll get the foul, go their way. Petratos not happy with the call. Well, at the moment, the battle is still on. There's no doubt about that. But the fact neither team has been able to score in this second half does make it fascinating what we've seen. 20 minutes in, or 21 minutes in to be exact. Here's a ball up the line. He can't get to it, McAllister. Clarkson will be looking to work it back. And that's a ball on from Elshan, who finds Foti back inside the Clarkson. Clarkson pumping it long. Petratos is on the left wing. Pressure again by Bolwell on that right side. Also to note, this weekend marks Indigenous round for Football New South Wales, and acknowledging these and celebrating First Nations history, culture and football. Indigenous round leads us into NAIDOC week with Football New South Wales First Nations representative teams competing on the 11th and 12th of July in the 2024 NAIDOC Cup. For more information, jump onto footballnewsouthwales.com.au and it will be covered, all the action. You'll be able to see where you can tune in for that game because it will be covered once again. I was lucky enough to cover it last year. It was a great afternoon, or great couple of afternoons of football. It'll be great again that it's being done for New South Wales. It's a great job with the NAIDOC week games, so you'll be able to find more information on the website footballnewsouthwales.com.au. Now is a chance again. Just couldn't get the ball away. He was looking for that moment. Let's see what he can offer up in this second half. In Conde. Ball goes to Roberts, who goes back to Cox. Cox utilising Clarkson. Geez, he's been everywhere, Clarkson. He's had a good game today, Brody. Very impressed. We're seeing a lot from Brody Clarkson as the ball drops down. Romero's not going to get to it. Played down by Solski. It's going to drop, and again, Will Kennedy can't do much. Clarkson works it up. Cox is not going to get to it. Actually, to be honest, Cox and Romero looked at each other going, what are we going to do? As now, running up is Casawaya. Works it back inside. Here's Quintal. Works it deep. Conde has possession. Conde, he turns. He's going to have a shot. Works in the middle. Oh, great work, McAllister. Taken down, and then the shot's fired in! What a goal! That is great work by Camiljo. Quintal's shot was deflected. Then Camiljo with a great goal. They go over to celebrate the Cove. And the score is 2-1. And Sydney FC have got the lead again. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Quintal trying to get a shot through. Didn't quite work. It dipped down and went back to Camiljo, who took a lovely shot. Just listen to that. Listen to that noise. Listen to that noise. Oh, I'll tell you now. I said before, if you haven't got your heart rate pumping, you haven't got a heart. Well, I'll tell you what. If you haven't got every bone shaking in your body, you're not alive. This game is seriously that intense. Because you know St George is going to come back. You know they're going to come back. It's not like Sydney FC are going to be able to park the bus, because St George City are just going to smack the bus and make sure they can go past it in their Volkswagen Golf. Anyway, Curry works it deep to the left, and I don't know why the Volkswagen Golf was the first car I thought of. Not that it's going to do much anyway. Anyway, score here is 2-1 Sydney FC. Camiljo, that is a cracking goal. And for him this season, that is his first goal. Yeah, his first goal this year, Camiljo. That was a cracking strike. Like, that was a brilliant strike. Was able to bang that one home. As the ball was with Clarkson, who tries to work it deep. Headed down by Kennedy. Substitutions about to happen once again. McAllister's day is done, and coming on will be in Bailey Callahan. Callahan makes his way onto the field. That's the substitution. Goes now. What can they offer up again? St George, they're on the attack. There's a shot by Romero that was drifting around. Not doing much really, just drifting right, and it will be a goal kick. So this will be Daniel Solski, who will boot this to halfway. Comes up, headed by Cox. Romero plays it down. Roberts has it. He works it on. Romero can't get to it. If he did, he would have chipped the keeper. I reckon he would have chipped the keeper. Not saying he would have scored. He would have at least chipped the keeper. As now, that's an error. Foti just chasing onto it. Probably gives away a foul there. Will Kennedy not happy. Score remains 2-1. Oh. This is one of the most important games for Sydney FC this season. And also, I should note as well about games between Sydney FC and Sydney FC and St George City, because they've only played 3 times against each other. And it's been a win, draw, and a loss. Basically, if you look at it from a Sydney FC perspective or a St George City perspective. So, as I said, it is Bailey Callahan who's replaced McAllister. The ball goes over halfway, and well, he can't get a shot away at all in Conde. So it comes over halfway, and Romero works it on the Curry. Curry chips it. He's not going to get to it, Roberts. There's a bit of pressure on Solski. Not to be. Isn't this one of the games of the year? and it's still not over yet. As I said, the context of where both sides are, as the ball drops down, good pressure, but they'll have the ball back, Sydney FC, after the ball was played out by Foti. So throw is taken by Will Kennedy. Played over halfway. Conde wants to try to get the ball again. The referee has seen an indiscretion. Sydney FC play on the ground. So Quintal again on the ground. Just wonder, as the subs are being made again, Kouri is off, Clarkson is off. And making his way onto the field is Palamitri. That's one player on. And the other player is in Kamakura. So that's the two subs. And now this offers up a chance for Sydney FC going with possession. So it will be a throw to be taken. St George win it. Cox. Here we go. Sydney FC trying to work it back. St George trying to shuffle it out. They did. Cox. And then stopped by Will Kennedy. That was great work by Will. He works it back. And then the ball over halfway. Good work by Solski. He's found the head of Fong though, and now it's St George on the attack. Mitri and Foti combining. Foti, and that's stifled out by Kalusic. Now Cox working it left. Kamakura. And again, it's worked up by Roberts. Petrados can't get to it. Solski's there to make the save. Sky Blues. And St George City doing battle. It's 2-1. Nicholas Klitniak with you. On Football New South Wales on YouTube. Cox working it back. You've got the feeling that there's another twist in this story. Wilshan trying to hold court. Ball goes back to Kenny. Kenny over halfway. Trados can't get it on the initial run. He's got it again. He heads at Romero. Can't get it. Played down by Camiljo. It's in possession for St George. Here's Roberts again. He fires a ball in. Oh, that's great work by Kennedy. It comes down. Middleton clears it. And then a foul won't be called here, despite the challenge, and eventually it was called. The challenge on Callahan. Well, this game just keeps on keeping on. Close to being one of the games of the season with what is going on. As Conde couldn't do much with it. Still with Camiljo. Now it's Tyler Williams going upstream. Ball touch back, and again Kennedy goes back to Kasawaya. Oh, good work. It was just absolutely running onto it. Callahan did go out, touching off the Sydney FC side last, but it was just a good effort, getting himself in spot. There's now. Here's a chance again. Comes down to the right side. Oh, well. Has a shot. It does deflect. It comes back. Middleton trying to work it down the middle. Conde couldn't do much with it. And now here's Foti. Foti gets a ball on. Roberts can't get to it. No, I should say Romero can't get to it. Great work by Kalusic. As the ball drops back to Kenny. Getting tongue-tied with all the excitement going on here. Romero, the big American, wants possession. He wants a goal. It's something he is absolutely bursting for. We're in the 80th minute at Penshurst Park. Sydney FC. One more change about to be done for them. That's coming up shortly. But what's coming up here? Callahan can't get to it. Great by Elshad. And then Digaduli trying to work it up the line. Cox has it. He goes left. It's going to be, well, they're trying to win it. Kamakura. Great work by St George. Sydney FC trying to hold possession eventually. Kalusic was able to work it right. Ball comes down. Kasawaya couldn't control it. Again, it goes back to Foti. Foti back to the middle. Oh, that wasn't a great ball. Dimitri knows he needs to feed better balls in that situation. Here comes City. Mitri was beaten. Conde. Kasawaya can't get to it. Fong. Good cut off. Good cut off. Ball on halfway. Kasawaya. Kasawaya. Trying to cross it back inside. Touching off Fong will be a corner. Near side of Penshurst Park. 8 minutes of regulation time remaining. And it's 2-1. Sydney FC. Can they get the 3-1 advantage? To mind you, how many times have I said that I expect a 90-minute equaliser? Because I've just got that feeling that that's what we're in for. I don't know what the script is. That's what I expect the script to be. Quintal to take it. It'll be an outswinger. Ball goes in position to be fired away by Kenny. Comes down. St George on the attack. Again, Digadoi works it over halfway. Played down by Sydney FC. St George couldn't get it. The ball goes out. Touch it last, no control. Substitution to be made. It's 2 subs, in fact, and it will be France who will come on. He's replacing Camiljo, the goal scorer, that we saw a couple of minutes ago. Actually, to be correct in saying coming on will be Dylan Rose. And the next substitution, which will be Quintal coming off, will be France coming on. So that's the correct to say. So France is on for Quintal, and Camiljo is off, and on is Rose. So I just want to confirm that subs, even though 2 players are going off, 2 players are going on. But to give you the exact specifications, I don't know why I use the word specifications. It's not a manual, Nick. Anyway, Sydney FC trying to win possession. France wants to get himself involved early. There's now Callahan working it towards the far post. Conde needs to work it back. Conde. Ball does go out, and it will be a St George City goal kick. For those just tuning in on Football New South Wales on YouTube, it's 2-1. Sydney FC lead City. Goal scorers McAllister and also Camiljo. And they're both off the field too, I might note as well, for Sydney FC, while St George's goal scorer is Jesse Foti. As a foul goes the way of Sydney FC and a yellow card to boot. Good control. Kenny's had a good game today as well. Kennedy, I should say, he's had a good game. Will Kennedy. Now it's been turned over. Romero's got it. Romero gets a pass to Petrados. Costa. Well, deflects back. Romero tried to get in. Couldn't get the shot. Jesse Foti is around. He's also had a good game. A goal for him, as I mentioned, as Sydney FC will have possession again. Just watching Romero, the way he injects himself in a game has been awesome. Just watching what happened before. Romero really knows how to get himself going. Good player. And as I said, it's a shame he's not playing A-League at the moment. Did play for MacArthur. It was a season and a half ago now. Feels like it anyway. Former Apia boy. 4 minutes of regulation time in this second half remaining. There's a 90th minute equaliser on the cards. Was it a match winner from Sydney FC? That will be the difference. Fong works it on. Kennedy was really harassing there. Makes another tackle. Great work by him. As now they go again. He was taken down there. Petrados. Will be a corner going the way of St George. 3.5 on the clock. Regulation time in this second half. Petrados to take the corner. Well, he was trying the worldie again, but not to be from Nathan Roberts. Sydney FC trying to win the ball, couldn't in that situation. St George now on the attack. Spinning around here was Romero. Again, Conde had to go back. We'll go through the other scores in a moment because I know that we've been obviously focusing on what's been happening here. There has been another game that's gone full time. St George City losing 2-1 here, but that game that went full time, I'll give you the score of that. It is the game between St George FC and I'm just waiting for that score to come through. My app just disappeared for the moment. Get that again. It's 1-1 before. Now Callahan goes back. Kasawaya trying to work it back inside. Good work by Fong. Goes down to Middleton. Now Rose. Ball goes out. Throw for Sydney FC. Manly losing last night. The Hills 2-0. Rockdale defeated Spirit early on 2-1. About to see injury time here. There's now Romero. Romero, well, again, couldn't feed it to anybody in sight. And again, they go forward. Rosa ball. Offside is Callahan. As now it starts to escalate. A yellow card's been given. By the way, that St George Wanderers game, it was 1-1. It ended up 2-2. That's the score, 2-2. So just saw that score come back in my system, 2-2. Is now ball outside the area. It drops down for Romero. Romero works it on to Roberts. Roberts again. Crosses it in. He was taken down, Petrados. The ball drops back. We're in injury time. We don't know how many minutes has been called. No board here today. I'd say about 3, but that's just an estimate. That's just an estimate, I might add, as the ball goes over halfway. Conde wants it. Conde is not going to get it. It's going to be a St George ball. A foul called as well. A challenge by Conde. So they're calling for runners here. Digadoi works it into the area. It drops down. Roberts is going to get to it here. Roberts is going to look to take this cross. Sydney FC headed. Comes down. Cox can't get to it. Cox is doing his best. It's been spun around by Callahan. Drops back to halfway. Digadoi goes back. Kenny. He's going to lob it up again towards the edge of the area. Elshan is up front. It drops back to Mitri. Mitri has a shot himself. It's low and it's saved at the end. Solski took it off the bounce. And the score remains 2-1 to Sydney FC. It's all happening. Halfway mark. Sydney FC wanting to turn the ball on. They can't. Header again by Kennedy, but it's been won by Romero. Goes to Roberts. Roberts takes a shot! It's hit the side netting. Oh, it hit the side netting. Oh, it could have been that equaliser right at the stroke. It's 2-1 Sydney FC. They're going to make a sub to St George. It will be Jomar to come on. And coming off the field for the Reds will be in Jesse Foti. All hands on deck. You wouldn't be shocked if Kenny will go out of his box. To mind you, still it's a pricey situation to do that. Ball goes over halfway. It will come down. Played down by Elshan as Mitri had to go back to Digadoi, who works it over halfway. Roberts will have, well, he can't get to it. The bounce is awkward. It's headed down. No foul called. Here's an opportunity. Conde running down the right wing. Conde, can he work it back inside? Ball is touched off St George. It will be a throw on that far side by Sydney FC. Is there an equaliser from St George City, or can Sydney FC get the goal to make it 3-1? Is the Sky Blues leading this, where in the 4th minute of injury time, well, I don't know how long we've got left, to be honest. Roberts boots it forward. Watch the referee. What is he going to do? Ball drops down. Sydney FC trying to clear it down. Goes in position here. Callaghan. Callaghan has got support. Callaghan can't feed it back. St George doing their desperate best, but the ball's gone out for a goal kick. It's touched off Sydney FC last. We're looking at the referee. Whistle not in mouth yet. Kenny works it over halfway. Is this the last moment? Ball by Ulshan. It goes across from Roberts, and here's a chance. He's just on the field. Can he score? No, he can't, Jomar. It drops back. Pearson Casawalia. He's got it. He works it up the line. Fake whistles in the background. France works it back. Sydney FC. Casawalia wants it. Headed down by Mitri. And again, Roberts trying to work it on. Sydney FC have it. Still no whistle yet. It's close to be happening. Mitri take it down. Foul goes the way of St George City. Is it here? Is it here? Ball goes towards Roberts. Oh, it's been won. And that's the game. Great work by Conde. Sydney FC. What an important win. What an important win for the Sky Blues. Sydney FC, it was desperate, it was gritty, and they got it. McAllister and Camiljo, the goal scorers for the Sky Blues. Jesse Foti for St George City. And full-time, Sydney FC, it might not be great on the goal difference, but they are still equal with Hills, and they get themselves clear of Sutherland by 3 points, which they have got a game tomorrow against Apia. And the Mariners are on 15 points in 16th place. I'll go through the ladder in a second, but first the results of this weekend. 2-0, Hills defeated Manly. Spirit lost to Rockdale 2-1. 2-2 between FC St George and Wanderers. Full-time here, 2-1 to Sydney FC. Now, the games tomorrow, Sydney United 58 and Blacktown City at Sydney United Sports Centre at 3 p.m. Also at 3 p.m, Wollongong and Olympic at Wyeth. Mariners, Marconi at Plume Park. That's at 3 p.m. Then at 5:30, Apia and Sutherland at Lambert Park. Now, here's the ladder. As it sits, Rockdale first on 56 points. Marconi second on 44. Apia third on 43. United fourth on 40. Blacktown City fifth on 38. Wollongong sixth on 36. Equal with St George City. Geez, that loss, it's going to sting. They're on 36 and 7. Wanderers 8th on 32. Olympic 9th on 29. Manly 10th on 26. Spirit 11th on 24. St George FC 12th on 23. Hills 13th and 21 points. 14th place Sydney FC 21 points. Sutherland 15th on 18 points. Mariners 16th on 15 points. What about that? I hope you enjoyed that. Nicholas Kutniak signing off. Don't forget, you can read the article later on. Joey Russo, great job by our camera operator Paul, did a great job today. And we bid you adieu from Penshurst Park, where Sydney FC have won what could be the most vital of wins in 2024 against St George City, 2-1. Good night from Penshurst.